ride the camel, ride the tram. Come and see the infant holy, princes high and paupers lowly. And on your way sing. When I meet you on the highway, I will greet you with a song. We'll play music by the roadside on the days when the journey seems too long. In the rain and in the fire, I will strain to hear you sing. The reign of God is our desire. We are bound for greater things, and we'll go singing, singing. We are bound for greater things, bound to walk a higher road, drawn by dreams and led by visions. We will know the grace of God. We will leave our past behind. We will fly on eagle's wings. We will run this road before us. We are bound for greater things. On the road to Bethlehem, seekers and searchers come from everywhere, come from all around. Soldiers and warriors, put your weapons down and sing, sing, sing. Help me find those chains that bind me as we walk into the light. We can see with clearer vision things that confused us just last night. The love that made the golden morning, the love that gave our spirits wings, gave us these hands to help each other. Oh yes, indeed, on our way to greater things. And we'll go singing, singing, bound for greater things, bound to walk a higher road, drawn by dreams and led by visions. We will know the grace of God. We will leave our past behind. We will fly on eagle's wings. We will run Songs of the journey, songs of the highway, songs of the changing. Leave your sheep and come along. Leave your home and join the song. Leave your lovely comfort zone and sing, sing. Welcome to another Thursday thing. I don't know what you call this thing. It's a Thursday thing. Thank you for being a part of this adventure. Before we go any further with music, I have some gratitudes to offer for all of it. I say this on the part of myself and also my coworker Beverly Vandermolen. We both thank you for the tons of birthday congratulations that came in. My birthday is the 7th, Beverly's is the 12th, and we are so grateful to so many people who sent birthday congratulations through email, through text, through cards, through Facebook, all kinds of things. Thank you so much. And thanks to so many partners who have been a part of this adventure. I want to say today that this last of our Advent shows is being dedicated especially to my San Antonio friend, whose story we will tell later in the concert, but I want to dedicate this program to her, and you'll find out why in a little bit. So if you could create your own Christmas song, this has been the question I've been asking for 3 weeks now. If you could create your own Christmas song, what would it say? You know, what would you like your own Christmas song to say? Somebody says, well, I'd like it to say that I'm glad my kids are finally out of the house. This is the first Christmas that I haven't had to rush around getting all kinds of stuff ready for all my kids. And then somebody else would say, no, I'm sad this Christmas because my kids are not in the house anymore. And somebody would say, well, this is my first Christmas being away from my family home. Or somebody might say, this is my first Christmas spent in a foreign country or whatever. So I've asked people, if you could write your own Christmas song, what would it say? And my next song comes from a friend who wrote this several years ago. He is a choir director, and he had a fantasy of creating a song that would be sort of an energizer for an entire community, where people would come together. The song would bring folks together, disparate backgrounds, people from different congregations and different faith backgrounds. And this song would be the thing that brought them together in a sort of a show of unity. We've kind of seen how at so many of these multi-faith services, by the time you get around to the silent night, it's like everybody's there together. So he envisioned writing a song that would be this gathering song for all kinds of people. And he wrote the poem and asked me to set his song to music. So this is called Sing Us a Song. Sing us a song, the people said, for the music of Christmas is in our heads. Bring us a text familiar and dear. Bring us a tune to bring the cheer of a season with dreams of peace on earth. Honoring the Christ of lowly birth, in a season with dreams of peace on earth, honoring the Christ of lowly birth. So poet did write a text with zeal, musician did write a tune to appeal to the people who longed for a Christmas song, and all were invited to sing along in a season with dreams of peace on earth, honoring the Christ of lowly birth, in a season with dreams of peace on earth, honoring the Christ of lowly birth. Now the choristers did come, every gender and age, learned all the notes that appeared on the page, and with conviction and great repetition, they mastered the song with great satisfaction. Then came the day the song was performed, music and words in elegant form, organs and bells now added their sound, giving great pleasure to folk all around, in a season with dreams of peace on earth, honoring the Christ of lowly birth, in a season with dreams of peace on earth, honoring the Christ of lowly birth. Now later, as friends met folk and kin, the power of the muse was still within, giving to all the warmest emotion, filling each heart with constant devotion. So in this season with dreams of peace on earth, may you be blessed by the Christ of lowly birth. So in this season of dreams of peace on earth, may you be blessed by the Christ of lowly birth. So it was a Sunday in December of maybe 82 or 3. And my little tiny church in San Francisco, Dolores Street Baptist Church, we never got more than about 50 or 60 members at the most. Very active, very wonderful, amazing community. It was our Advent services, and I was to make a song that week. And our pastor had been preaching some very, very powerful sermons about Jesus and social justice. And I improvised a piece, which, thank goodness, we were recording and we were able to remember it and hold on to it. So if I could write my own Christmas song, it would sound something like this. This is called Come Down, Jesus. Come down, Jesus, like a rock rolling down the hill. Crush the head of the serpent until that serpent is lying still. Come down, Jesus, like a rock on which we stand. Lift our feet from the miry clay and from the sinking sand. Come down, Jesus. Come down, Jesus. Come down, Jesus. Oh, come down. 'Cause we've been waiting a long, long time. Come down, Jesus, like the wind from a hurricane. Blow away all the poison clouds over every hill and plain. Come down, Jesus, like a gentle morning breeze. Bring us back springtime. Put new leaves on the trees. Come down, Jesus. Ooh, come down, Jesus. Come down, Jesus. Oh, come down. 'Cause we've been waiting a long, long time. Come down, Jesus, like a great refiner's fire. Burn the dross and keep the gold. Let the flames leap higher and higher. Come down, Jesus, like a fire in a winter storm. Melt the ice within us and turn our cold into warm. Come down, Jesus. Come down, Jesus. Come down, Jesus. Oh, come down. 'Cause we've been waiting a long, long time. Waiting such a long, long time. Waiting a long, long time. Waiting such a long waiting a long, long So this is a very interesting moment in our program because this is the moment when our guest is supposed to be here. And I wonder if he's here.
Yes, he is.
Oh, fantastic. Well, before I bring our honored guest on, I want you to hear just a little bit of music. And I'll explain to you why. Sunrise, sunset, conversations. That's a brand new instrumental piece written and produced by my guest today. A very amazing, talented musician who is not only the music director of all the music programs of one of the larger churches in the country, Trinity United Church of Christ in Chicago, but he is also a teacher, a composer, a producer, and an all-around amazingly fabulous guy. I first heard his choir several years ago at a festival, an outdoor festival in North Carolina, and I thought, oh my word, this is one of the best gospel choirs I've ever heard. And I thought, oh, I want to meet this man. And then a year later, I got to meet Bryan Johnson. In fact, we got to be together in a songwriting conference and developed a bond between us, which has turned into an absolutely delicious, delightful friendship. Bryan has been one of our interlude guests at our interlude retreat. And I asked Bryan to come on the show today because I know that Bryan's church in Chicago is doing some wonderful, amazing, and loving things. This church is seriously into loving the city, and Bryan is seriously into loving the city. And besides that, Bryan's just a doggone great musician, and I wanted to hear him sing. So I decided that I would ask him to my show because maybe that was the only reason or the only time I was going to get to hear Bryan sing. Bryan Johnson, hello there, my friend.
Hey, how are you, Ken?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Man, it's an honor to be with you. Right back at you. Ken is one of the most greatest humanitarians and gifted savants I've ever heard. I mean, if you say cheese with butterflies in a laptop, he's going to make a song out of it and make it theological. So I'm glad to be here, my brother.
Well, tell me now. I want to get this across to my people. First of all, your music program is doing a concert next week.
Yes, December 23rd, virtual choir concert. You know, we've been in the pandemic like everybody else.
Yep.
And so all of our choirs have submitted virtual choirs videos. So our babies from Arleka, 3 to 6-year-old, our youth choir, teenagers and youth, women's chorus, men, sanctuary choir, with special guest Liz Wright will all be featured on our virtual first in the history of our church, our Christmas concert, virtual concert.
Tell me, we've got several hundred viewers. Tell them how they can watch this concert.
Absolutely. Just go to trinitychicago.org. You can look us up on Facebook. Put in Trinity United Church of Christ Chicago. We'll have a link there. And I'm sure it'll be on YouTube, but you can go on our website as well.
tell me also, what other things is Trinity doing this Christmas? How is Trinity loving the city this Christmas?
Oh my goodness. I mean, it really started in the summer. We had a food drive. Mrs. Moss is part of the board of the depository in Chicago. And we had been giving away, God, thousands of boxes of food like every week, up until Thanksgiving. So we did our annual Thanksgiving drive. We're still meeting with the members virtually. Um, Everything right now is really about technology. A lot of our programs are online. All of our ministers call our parishioners every day, during the week to check on them.
Yep.
And so we're continuing with ministry with the communication.
And you guys have done so much in the community. One of the projects I know several years ago was to help redo the library in the community, and
Yes,
you've
yes,
been involved in city schools.
yes.
You've been teaching some in schools, haven't you?
Yes, yes. Before the pandemic, I was
Yeah.
teaching choir, and everything just kind of shut down, of course. And so
Yep.
I haven't seen my kids since March. Yeah. So it's been,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, oh.
yeah, yeah.
Well, Brian, I tell you what, I want to hear you sing.
Okay.
I've been doing this with some other guests. I want to have some fun, going back and forth uh, between the two of us, and see if we can create a little playoff here.
Okay.
But I want to hear you sing something. Would you sing for me?
Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of this song, one of my favorite songs written by David Foster, and I think another person called "Grown Up Christmas Lessons." We'll do it a cappella. This is one of my favorite songs to text, and to try it.
Okay.
Do you remember me? Sat upon your knee. I wrote to you with childhood fantasies. Well, I'm all grown up now. Can you still help me how? I'm not a child, but my heart still can dream. So here's my lifelong wish, my grown up Christmas list. Not for myself, but for a world in need. No more lives torn apart, that wars would never start, and time would heal all hearts. Every man would have a friend, that right will always win, and love would never end. This is my grown up Christmas list.
Brian, have you got a keyboard handy?
I do. Yes, I can bring it right over here.
Let's do that. We're gonna have
Okay.
some fun here.
All right, hold on.
All
Let me grab it.
right. While he's grabbing that keyboard, one of the fun things that we got to do.
Impromptu.
Yep, one of the fun things we got to do is work on this. Ah, yes.
All right.
All right. I want to start something, and then I want you to pick it up. Okay.
You got it.
Your turn. That's always fun to do. And
Wow, I've
one of
never
these days
done
we're going
that.
to do it live. One of
I've
these
never.
days we'll do it live. You on
Please.
the big old B3 and me on the keyboard. Brian,
Yes.
thank you so much for being willing to spend a little time with us on the show. And I do hope a lot of folks come and hear your concert, because here is a church that loves the city, that loves to be involved in the life of the city. There's so much ministry going on there in the inner city of Chicago. One a couple of summers ago, we happened to be coming through Chicago, and we were going to be working on a project
Right.
together.
Right.
And I remember that we came into the building, and on the way in, my coworker Beverly Vandermolen fell
Right.
and broke her elbow.
Right.
And in about 15 seconds, you guys had people lifting her into a wheelchair, taking her to the hospital. It was
Yes.
amazing, just amazing.
Yes. Yes.
And so I hope a lot of our folks come and listen to your concert. I know that you've got some rehearsals going on. So just let me say to you, thank you a million times for being willing to spend a little time on our show. And I hope all goes really, really well for you this Christmas.
Thank you. You too, Ken. God bless you.
We'll be talking.
Absolutely.
I know a man who loves the city well. I know a man with so many stories to tell. My buddy Bryan has been round a corner or two. And he's known his share of joy, and he's known his share of pain, just like me and you. I know a man knows how to help folks sing. I know a man for whom music is a really important thing. My buddy Bryan walks so straight and tall. He loves the city, and the city loves him. There's no conflict at all. I know a man who's becoming quite a friend. I long to be with him time and time again. So go, Bryan, go. Live your life of love, and through your music, may the city be moved. Well, I want to get to our Christmas song stories before we get any further. Our first story comes from our dear friend, is it Amy? Our dear friend Amy, who wrote this about Christmas, and Beverly's going to read Amy's reflection on Christmas.
Amy says, "For weeks now I have watched as the world around me decks its halls in a sort of collective practice. Even before Thanksgiving, there were lights draping the roofs of the houses in my neighborhood, Christmas trees standing in front windows, doorways draped in greenery and red berries. It is as if there was some unspoken agreement to embrace as much cheer and light as many candles as possible in the face of this dark, troubled year. For indeed, our practices, both private and communal, have been wrecked these last months, shredded beyond recognition. We have lost so much. As a professional pianist and teacher, I have lost work and the joy of making music with the colleagues I love. I have lost the ease of teaching piano lessons in person. I have lost connection with friends over coffee and drinks. I have lost a beloved cat. I miss smiling at strangers in the grocery store. I miss going to concerts and restaurants, yoga classes and bookshops. I miss hugging my mom and dad. When our lives first shut down, I wondered, what if this forced cloistering made us into different people? I no longer wonder. We are forever different people, scarred and broken-hearted, hungry for hope, desperately looking for a tomorrow we can't possibly imagine. In spite of all our losses, our burdens are heavy, literally dragging us down. But in these dark December days, we find ourselves limping towards Bethlehem. Could it be that all this pain and heartache means we are birthing a new world? Maybe, just maybe, there is the light of a star up ahead. Maybe, somewhere, there is a new creation about to be born.
I remember, and I weep. I remember, and I mourn. It'll never be the same as it was, never. We'll never go back there, never. And what it is to be is still a mystery. And it's frightening, don't you think? And it's frightening, don't you think? Could it be that in this scary, frightening Christmas time, something's happening in Bethlehem, something's happening in Chicago town, something's happening in Albuquerque town, something's happening in Youngstown, in Syracuse, in San Antonio, in San Francisco. crawling to Christmas. Here we are on our knees. Here we are crawling to Christmas. And I wonder what you see. Don't give up and don't give out. Don't give in, that's what it's all about. Sure, the new is scary, and the new is full of danger. Sure, the new is scary, and the new is full of strangers. But here we are, crawling toward Christmas, and maybe something new. Thanks, Miss Amy, for that beautiful, beautiful reflection. My next story is the story of my San Antonio friend, for whom I'm dedicating this concert. She wrote to me and said, well, my favorite song of all times is Sheep May Safely Graze. It's that wonderful Bach piece that has this little melody. And that has become famous because it's used so many times in so many places. She said, I also really like I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. She said, this Christmas for me has some melancholy. She said, I'm aging rapidly. My body is giving up on me. I have both Parkinson's and COPD. I'll be alone in my apartment this Christmas. I have a brother who lives near me, but he's sheltering in place. I have a friend who lives near me, and she's sheltering in place as well. And yesterday, she said, I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me it was time for me to think real seriously about going into a progressive end-of-life caring community. Now that strikes at your heart. And she said, but still, my prayer is that God's sheep may safely graze. And my prayer is that phrase from I Heard the Bells, that there will be peace on earth, goodwill to all. And so, San Antonio friend, this is my version of your Christmas song. On Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play. I sit alone and still I pray for peace on earth, goodwill to all. The Christmas that I used to know is Christmas where I'll never go, and still I sit here and I pray for peace on earth, goodwill to all. with friends. The celebration knows no end. And now I sit here in this home, and soon a scary new day will come. But in all these changes still I pray for peace on earth, goodwill to all. And so, my friends, if you know pain that comes to you time and again, here's my advice: be earnest to pray for peace on earth, goodwill to all. Merry Christmas, my San Antonio friend. I hope some folks write to you in the chat. Our last story is from someone who has been on our program before, Elaine Amerson. I asked Elaine to write a little bit about what her Christmas song would say, and Beverly's going to read Elaine's reflection.
As my Christmas song for 2020 felt more like praying, I thought of Anne Lamont's definition of prayer: help, thanks, wow. So my song goes: help! We are tired of isolation, of untimely deaths. Thanks for the caregivers, the truth tellers, our masks. Wow! For miracles of rapid vaccine makers, for Zooming to see and talk with family and friends. Help, thanks, wow.
I go down on my knees, and three words fill my head: help, thanks, wow. Help, I'm alone, I miss so much, I'm so weary, I'm so beaten and bruised, and bent round and round, and I fear for a life that will never come back. Help, help for a Christmas that feels so frustrating, frightening, and different from anything we've known. Help, thanks for protection and caring and good mask wearing, for food in my fridge, for love and Zoom as a bridge to friends and comrades here and the folks on the front lines, for a brand new vaccine. Thanks, thanks, wow. I feel almost speechless. What do you say? For blessings uncounted, for life and for breath, in the presence of so much death, for hope and for comfort, for presence and sunlight and moonlight and daytime and nighttime and flowers and trees. Divine love, wow. Help, thanks, wow, right now. There's one more song to sing, so it may take us just a little bit over our hour. I hope you won't mind. I want to thank you for being with me for all these many, many weeks. About 9 months now, hasn't it? Thanks to those of you who've donated to Interlude. I am so incredibly grateful. If you want to partner with us, interluderetreats.org. You can donate to Interlude, and you can find out what Interlude's all about as well. We're going to run a little contest in the next couple of weeks. On New Year's Eve, we're not going to do a live concert. We're going to rerun one of the older concerts, and we're asking you, what is your favorite of the concerts that you have heard that we've done? If you'll message us on Facebook, tell us what your favorite is, we'll tally them up, and the concert gets the most votes, we'll rerun on New Year's Eve. We will do a Christmas Eve program, and when I talked to San Antonio friend, she said, "Oh, good, I'm glad you're doing one on Christmas Eve. We'll all need it." Let's see. Sonia, any other announcements that I need to make? No. We're good? Okay. Then one more song. Several years ago, I got a chance to work with a choir in New York. My friend Ken Dake directs the choir at Marble Collegiate Church, and we did a program together, and this song was on it. Two songs coming together. One, How Low, How Rose Air Blooming, and the other is a folk song called Bring Me a Rose. And here's how these songs come together.
most any time,
yes,
bring me hope
when my hope is gone.
How easy we forget to show God's love around. She bore to us our me a rose in the winter time.
How easy we forget. So go, my friends, and hope attend you all through the night. May she peace and courage send you all through the night. May she ever stand beside you in her loving kindness, hide you through the treacherous darkness, guide you all through the night. Thank you, Bryan Johnson. Thank you, everybody who's watched and listened. See you next week. Have a good week and Merry Christmas.